Welcome to the Winners Tackle Box, brought to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. We just wrapped up the first North Division tournament, Alabama's Bass Trail, here on Smith Lake. Joined by the winners, John Kellett, Zeke Gossett. Guys, it was a tough day. Y'all came out on top. You kind of weighed in late. Some of these teams weighed in earlier. You thought they were going to do pretty good. You guys came in sort of late and kind of stole the thunder from them.
Yeah.
Tell us kind of how you came up with this.
We were boat 154 today, so we had a 4:30 weigh-in,
Right.
and we knew we were going to get a little bit more of that afternoon bite, and figured those fish pulling up later in the day would help us. So we didn't have but one fish at 10:30 this morning, and we just grinded and stuck to our deal, and it paid off. Those fish pulled up, and we got bit. So
usually when I hear that from anglers, it tells me that you guys probably had a number in your head of what you thought it might take would win this tournament. And you kind of developed a game plan based off what you thought it would take to get there. What was the number in your head when you took off this morning?
About what we had. I thought 17 would get it done. Now, we didn't catch that in practice. We probably caught maybe 13 pounds in practice, but the baits we were throwing and stuff we were doing, we knew that potential was there. As long as we got a big bite, and we did. We had a 590 something. So, and like I said, we're being hard-headed today. Sometimes it can sting you bad, but sometimes it pays off, and it paid off today. So, we didn't freak out. I talked to John about it. I was like, man, you want to go try to catch a couple of keepers? And we both decided, no, we're going to stick to it, and we did. And that's a good thing we did, because that's about the time we started catching them.
Right. Well, you say that, but you can go spend an hour trying to catch keepers, and
right.
That's the time that the 5 pounder or
right.
something like that. And you lose that opportunity by doing that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what we said. We're like, we know what the fish are here, and we just need to get 5 bites, and that's exactly what we caught. It was 5, and never cold one time. I mean, we caught one under, and we caught 6 fish I think all day.
Right. Now, you said something that kind of, triggers me a little bit. We hear a lot of guys across the stage and say, man, yesterday I really caught them well, caught them better than did today. Really practice is really to develop a game plan to catch them best on tournament day.
Right.
So you don't want to have your practice days your best day.
Right.
So
yeah, and we were trying to be careful about what we hooked, but we needed to find the right stuff in order to. And we tried to find just as much of that as possible. And actually, to be honest, they changed today, and we figured out the day. And that's what we try to do in any tournament I'm in, try to figure them out that day.
Right.
So you can get an idea in practice, but it's hard, especially on a lake like this. And the changing conditions, we had sun the past 2 days, and it changed.
Right. I know both of you guys have a lot of experience fishing. Does that experience come into play? Like you said, you got to kind of keep an open mind during tournament day and be able to kind of roll with the changes. It started raining about midday today, really kind of changed the day up a little bit.
Right.
So, is that experience what you play on?
Right, yeah. So, like what you just said, having experience, like I was here in a big tournament 2 years ago, and I knew the water was dropping, and I kind of figured out what I did in that tournament and catch them, and I was like, we need to look for these certain banks, and that's what we ended up doing.
Okay. What were some of the baits you guys used to catch these fish?
We threw a swim bait mainly. We caught some on a Senko, but I think all our keepers came on swim bait.
Okay. Any particular style swim bait?
It was a Rage Swimmer, 5.8.
What color, do you know?
Electric shad.
Okay, electric shad.
Yep.
Okay. What kind of jig head were you using on this?
We actually had it on under a belly weighted hook.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the water depth where you were catching these fish?
It was anywhere from 1 foot to about 12 foot. I mean, honestly, you had to find like the certain bank, and it was just a little bit deeper banks today because of the water dropping. The fish pulled out just a hair. Right. We were catching them real shallow in practice, but today it did not work because, a lot of the stuff we were catching in practice wasn't even in the water. So
yeah.
I know there's a lot of boat docks on this lake. Do boat docks play into that at all?
No, it was more of the channel swings and where deeper water near access. Like we knew where they were in practice, and we just moved out with them.
Right.
So wherever the next available, even the boat was sitting probably about 20 foot, 25, something like that.
How much water did you cover throughout the day? Did you guys keep rolling pretty quick, or?
Yeah, a lot. That's why we were contemplating, about 10:30. But when the weather changed, the rain started rolling in. I caught a 4-pounder, and I was like, "Yep, we're doing the right thing now." Right, After that, we made several more stops. We started running and gunning, just looking for that right bank. And when we did, there was a good one on it. So we had a little bite window from about 10:30 to 1, and from that time, that's when we had all our weight. And we actually had one smaller fish that we couldn't get rid of, and we were worried about it.
Right. Well, we've seen weights here. It takes over 20 sometimes, so
Right.
it's really tough. When you catch them well, you've had a good day, but you don't really ever know till you come to weigh in.
And that's the Alabama Bass Trail too. You just never know.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
Guys, great win. It's not easy to win these tournaments. It's your first one, so it's a great way to get started.
Yeah, it was both our first ABT. I've always wanted to fish the ABTs, but my schedules never really met together because I
Right.
fished in college. So I was real excited when John asked me to fish with him this year, and I was like, heck yeah! I was like, I've always wanted to fish the Alabama Bass Trail, and
Right.
I'm blessed to get first in our first one.
Right. Well,
Yeah.
there's some guys here that probably wish you weren't fishing this one today, but you're here. Folks, before you head on your next fishing adventure, be sure to stop by your local Academy Sports and Outdoors, where you'll find all this gear and more.